Hey guys, it's Coach Reid Hall here. I'll be joined by JP momentarily, who's a top volleyball strength conditioning coach out of Quebec, Canada. Today we have warm-up exercise that are going to help you improve the efficiency of your arm swing. To have a really effective arm swing, you need sufficient mobility in your thoracic spine, your shoulder, and you need a lot of strength and stability in the positions that you get in. And that's what we're going to focus on today. So these are warm-up exercise that you can perform before you do an upper body workout or any type of workout in the gym. Most of these exercises are also great to perform before volleyball practice or competition. But before we dig in, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel below so you can get all the newest videos when they're released. Anyways, guys, check it out and dig in. The first exercise that we're going to focus on involves a lacrosse ball, which helps create range of motion and space. So this first one is focusing on our traps. Our traps, when they get really tight, affect us from getting our arm overhead, which is an extremely important position for when attacking. If you are excessively tight in this position, you need to spend more time working on this. If you're not as tight, you can move on to the next one. JP, what do we focus on when we're doing this exercise?
I truly like this exercise just to improve the range of motion. And that exercise is mostly to use the trap smash. So use the cross ball on your upper trap and the rig and put your arms behind your back. That is a good exercise that depress the shoulder and just to rotate your neck. So that's a good thing just to improve that range of motion.
And then next we're moving on to, so now we're coming to the front here, into kind of the front of the shoulder and into the pec minor. So you can see JP pinned the lacrosse ball into here. And what action are we doing with our arm here? Like what are we actually doing in this exercise?
We truly want to do a external rotation with the shoulder. Why? Because the pec minor and the pec is the internal rotation. So when we hit, we use to pinch a little bit on our shoulder. So what we want to do is just to improve that range of motion by creating space, having neutral tissue with that muscle.
And I think this is going to help you be able to open up when you're doing this. And once again, if you're super tight here, you need to spend some more time. If you're not so tight and you're able to get into these positions, you don't need to spend quite as much time. So next, we're going to move into a few different banded exercise that helps mobilize or stretch out our lats, which is a common area that gets excessively tight for volleyball players. The lats are both an internal rotator and help us get our arms overhead. JP, what's this one that we're focusing on here?
This one, we want to put it on the elbow and try to contract against the band, and after that to let it go. What is really important is first squeeze the glutes and keep the core tight, because what we want to do is to improve that range of motion without using our back, because it's connected to the back. So when you have issue with the back and the shoulder, that's the common link. So we truly want to reset and relax that muscle.
So to reiterate what JP is saying there is that when he sets up and they get in this position, he's going to be contracted. So he's going to be pushing that armpit forward and squeezing the lat and then breathing and relaxing so he can sink a little bit deeper in the stretch. But while he's doing that, we can't be extend the lower back. So that's why squeezing the butt and keeping the core tight is really, really important. So our next banded exercise is also going to be focusing on our lats. JP, what are we doing here, buddy?
What we have here is we use the shoulder blades to contract, and after that to release when we're breathing. So inhale, contract, exhale, relax. What we want to do is just to contract like 3 to 5 seconds down and exhale and go 3 to 5 seconds up, just to improve the range of motion.
No, that's a great one. I love it. So he's kind of pulling down, contract. So pulling that shoulder blade down, contracting, holding for 3 seconds, and then exhale, breathe and relaxing and stretching for another 3 seconds. And you're alternating between those. This exercise is called an open book. Now, this is an amazing exercise to help open up through our chest, but it's also an amazing thoracic rotation exercise, which we know is extremely important for our attacking mechanics. Coach JP, what are we focusing on here in this exercise?
Here we really want to be important on the knee and the hip. So we put the knee on the foam roller or on volleyball, and we keep the hips pretty square. And after that, we open only the thoracic spine. So that's also called a T-spine mobility. That's what we want to do is exhale at the external rotation.
And you can see here, in order to keep that hip locked in a good position as Coach JP, he's actively trying to push that knee down in the foam roller, the volleyball, and exhale as he opens up. JP, I love this one. Okay, let's move on now, pal. This exercise called a half kneeling cable external rotation. I'm just gonna play the video here, listen up. This exercise called a half kneeling external rotation. So Sophie's gonna set up, so her arm's at a 90-degree angle. This is in line with her shoulder. So right now, all that's happening is her shoulders externally rotate, and you feel the tension right where I'm touching here. So on the back of the shoulder, right at the back of the rotator cuff. When she's doing this, she doesn't want to focus on pulling and yanking with her hand. She just want to focus on just the shoulder rotating and trying to keep the tension on the back of the shoulder. So you can see we're set up in the half kneeling position. You could easily use a band for this exercise. It doesn't need to be a cable. Anyways, guys, make sure to keep that tension on the back of the shoulder here in our rotator cuff. Let's keep moving along. The next exercise called a quadruped slide plus lift. Once again, I'm just gonna play the video here.
Today's exercise is gonna be a quadruped reach and lift. So Coach Reid's gonna start down on all fours. We're in a nice neutral back position in our quadruped. We're gonna reach the hand forward along the ground, allowing the shoulder blade to move forward. As the thumb points up, we're gonna lift the arm, hold for a second. Arm should be covering the ear in this position. Then we're gonna lower, pull back in, allowing the shoulder blade to retract as we come down, and we're gonna repeat. So we're gonna do this exercise for 3 to 5 reps a side. We can do this at home or in our warm-ups before we start.
The next exercise we have is another rotator cuff exercise. It's actually a great dynamic stability exercise for our shoulder. So we're gonna set up in the half kneeling position with the kettlebell. This is called a half kneeling bottoms up kettlebell press. JP, what are we focusing on for this one?
We're truly focusing on 2 or 3 things. First, the hip have to be tight, core tight, and after that on your shoulder. On the shoulder, what we want to use is the shoulder blade is tight, and after that, we press up. When we press up, we want to wait a little bit of 3 to 5 seconds just to have like the issue with the kettlebell is moving. So that's really a good activation exercise for that.
It's really important when you're pressing overhead. As JP mentioned before, we want to keep our hips tight and our abs tight. So abs are contracted, glutes are clenched together. This stops you from pressing and getting extended into the lower back. You can see he's getting a little bit extended the lower back here. We're trying to get good upward rotation of that shoulder blade when you press without getting extended back. To have a long, successful volleyball career, you need to do the little things, and taking care of your shoulder is absolutely critical. Anyways, guys, I want to thank Coach JP. Give him a follow at his Instagram handle below. And guys, I want to move the needle on educating more athletes and volleyball coaches, so subscribe to my YouTube channel below because I'll be coming out with more cutting edge content on a weekly basis. Anyways, guys, we'll catch you next time.
Come on.